In this video, we're going over the new Battlefield 6 launch update patch notes. The official launch is going to be going live on the 10th. That is this week, and I am personally crazy excited. If you want to stay up to date with any and all news, updates, best class setups, as well as settings for Battlefield 6, feel free, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, and after watching the video, let me know down in the comment section if these changes are a W or a complete L. So the Battlefield 6 community update. Hello everyone, this is from DICE. In this community update, we will share how we are translating insights from community feedback into changes and improvements for the launch of Battlefield 6 on October 10th. That is this week. What we learned: with over 30 Battlefield lab sessions successfully completed alongside our community and a total of 92+ million hours played during the open beta. That's actually ridiculous. Battlefield 6 is the most tested and integrated Battlefield game in history, and player agency remains at the heart of it. Awesome. Battlefield 6 has more ways to play than ever, and through the open beta, we aim to validate at scale that offering multiple playlists in parallel would not compromise the authentic Battlefield experience. Here is a closer look at some of the most important data points reviewed and our summarized findings for each. Class pick rates. The map layout was the main deciding factor for class picks. For example, support had a higher pick rate on Siege of Cairo, which is a CQC focused map. On Iberian Offensive, with more long-distance combat opportunities, we saw an increased pick rate for recon. That's going to be obvious. For the small maps, obviously people are going to be running more support. They're going to be using submachine guns, assault rifles, and for the bigger maps, they're going to be running recon, obviously running sniper rifles, or a class that is going to be benefiting long-range combat. Comparing between open and closed weapon playlists, we observed most identical class pick rates with 1 to 2% difference at most. So they're gonna have open and closed classes at launch, both of them, which in my personal opinion is a good thing. I know this is gonna be like a sketchy topic. Some people like to have the closed class, some people like to have the open class. I think it's important that they're gonna be doing both, so everybody is going to be satisfied. Kills per hour. Kills per hour KPH also remained virtually consistent for both playlist types. Open weapon playlists or open weapon players scored 0.2 more KPH in Conquest and 0.1 in Breakthrough. So that's literally no difference whatsoever. Match length. Match duration increased slightly with closed weapon playlists by up to 45 seconds, or about 3.75% difference for both Breakthrough and Conquest. So this is actually some pretty interesting data that I'm really surprised that DICE is actually sharing. This is something that we probably should be getting in Call of Duty, especially since they did add in the no SBMM playlist. We need to see exactly what classes people are running, the kills per hour, and the match length compared to the skill-based matchmaking mode. If they actually went ahead and released that data and were honest about it, I think it'd be very, very interesting. Now, revives. We also observed a slightly higher revive rate for closed weapons at 3% for Breakthrough and 2% for Conquest, which coincides with the slightly longer match duration. Signature weapon usage. Most players played with non-signature weapons in open weapon playlists. However, recon players still favored sniper rifles over other weapons, and their pick rate was identical between both playlist types. There was not a single dominant weapon archetype, and we observed a consistent and well-distributed pick rate between them. This balance shows that even with different playlist types, players explored a wide variety of options without one class standing out above the rest. That is a prime example of a game that is balanced. Absolute W. Time in combat. There were no differences of note for time players spent in combat between open and closed weapon playlist type. The actual differences were only fractions of a percentage were rounded up. The results were identical, so no changes. Lastly, another key insight from the Battlefield open beta was that the vast majority of players, after trying both playlist types, chose to stick with open weapons. That's very important. This reinforces our belief that open weapons is the right path forward for Battlefield 6. At the same time, we recognize some players prefer the closed weapon experience. To support them, official closed weapon playlists will be available at launch. So they're going to be giving us both to go ahead and satisfy both niches, again, which I think is a massive W. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think. All this is essentially going to be doing is allowing people to have more variety, and they can go ahead and run what they want. And I think that's amazing. I think this has to do with a lot of Call of Duty players coming to Battlefield and wanting to go ahead and have more freedom with their creator class / loadout. Additionally, closed weapons mutators will remain part of the Portal toolset, so players can create and share their own custom experience. Menu and playlist update. Here we go. For launch, we are also making further changes and improvements to playlists and menus as a direct result of some of your feedback. All launch maps will be available across playlists from day one, giving you the freedom to play whatever map you prefer, which I think is a massive, massive W. We tested having multiple modes in single playlists during the open beta and learned that players' favorite playlists with combined modes. We will continue to iterate and adjust playlists to deliver the best Battlefield experience possible. You'll have the flexibility to join in both single mode and mixed mode playlists. At launch, Conquest, Breakthrough, and Escalation will each have their own dedicated playlist. Alongside these, you will see combined playlists such as Conquest and Escalation and Breakthrough and Rush. So you do not have to stop matchmaking when switching between those experiences. If you want to focus on a specific mode outside of playlists, you can always find it through custom search and server browser. So you still have the option to play just Conquest, just Rush, or whatever mode you want to play. They're giving you full freedom to do so, which in my personal opinion is a massive W. This is how you go ahead and talk to your community and keep them up to date. Custom search enables you to select which map or modes combo you prefer, and you will be made into a match with these search criteria if available. You will have a higher chance to be match made into your preference the more you broaden your search, obviously. So if you only want to play a certain map in a certain mode, you can go ahead and do so. Again, something I wish they would do in Call of Duty, because we all know there are some maps in Call of Duties that are just horrible and they're just not worth playing whatsoever. So you can filter them out. But again, that's something they're probably not going to do. Maybe they'll do it in in Black Ops 7 if they do keep the reduced skill-based matchmaking mode. But we'll have to go ahead and see how that plays out. Portal remains the tool for creating and customizing experiences, while the section in the menu previously called Portal is now called Community. This is where you'll find the server browser, which is now prominently featured to make it easier to find and use. Separately, we will launch with Breakthrough, Conquest, Rush as verified modes within the server browser. This enables us, for example, feature official hardcore experience that we know many of you are excited for. So they're going to have the hardcore mode in here. At launch, you will also find new custom experience designed to add even more gameplay variety. This will be your first chance to dive into the new and improved Battlefield Portal toolset, now featuring powerful tools like spatial editing. We cannot wait to see the creative ways in which you'll use these tools to build and share your own experience. This is going to be the map building options. You can actually go ahead and fine tune how you want to play the game. Launch playlist rotations. We've learned a lot from the open beta, and we're using your feedback as our foundation for launching Battlefield 6. When the game goes live, you'll find a range of playlist options to jump into, including single mode playlists for favorites like Breakthrough and Conquest, closed weapon experiences, intense close quarters battle playlists, and action-packed all-out warfare playlist. We'll be paying close attention to your feedback, adjusting playlists, and adding new options to make sure things always feel fresh and you can easily find a match that suits your playstyle. Please keep sharing your thoughts. This is just the beginning. Now, on the horizon, they're going to be talking about Season 1. We are incredibly excited for you to join us on the battlefield at launch. And this is just the beginning for Battlefield 6, as shortly after launch, we will launch Season 1 on October 28th. I already made a video talking about the Season 1 update. I will have that linked at the top of the description. Check that out if you want to have all the info. Our seasons will have more content than ever in a Battlefield game, and we will unpack that with you in a more detail during an upcoming moment, so closer to this season's launch. There was much more to look forward to beyond our seasons as our team continues reviewing Battlefield Labs data, player feedback, as well as sharing new ideas for the future, starting with exciting new Battlefield take on Battle Royale. Separately, requests for naval warfare have not gone unnoticed, nor have the calls for a certain fan favorite little helicopter, platoons, and more. So they're teasing some more information coming within Season 1. We appreciate all your suggestions and want to know we're listening. With Season 1 and our roadmap ahead, we're excited to continue to build a Battlefield that reflects what players want. We'll continue reading and listening to community channels, and we cannot wait to share more with you. So keep the feedback coming. Also, be sure to join our official Battlefield Discord for more discussion in the latest update. So up next, the following gameplay updates will be included in our launch day patch, with over 200 changes focused on bug fixes, balance improvements, and polish for release. Stay tuned for the full launch day update notes closer to launch. So they're going to be dropping even more patch notes when the game is closer to release. This is probably going to come out on Wednesday, I would assume. So stay tuned. Player, you'll notice that movement feels more responsive with changes made to pacing and with several movement issues addressed to keep gameplay smooth and balanced. Weapons, recoil has been rebalanced on automatic weapons, making long-range gunplay more characteristic, rewarding tap firing and burst control. Numerous weapon attachments have been fixed, so they now display correctly in menus in-game. Gadgets. The LTLM2 laser designator has been refined with smoother deploy animations, updated visuals, and several fixes for better feel when used. The MBT Law is now the default engineer launcher with more accuracy or more accurate trajectory, improved guidance, and clear sights. The MAS 148 Glaive is enhanced with more realistic missile path, improved zoom and lock on, sharper scope visuals, and more reliable vehicle damage. Deploy beacons are now limited to 1 spawn per player, 4 per squad total, keeping balance and prevent overuse. Maps and modes. Rush and breakthrough layouts have been revisited for better balance between attackers and defenders. Operation Firestorm has been updated with improved vaulting, lighting, and performance, while Siege of Cairo spawn killing and out-of-bounds issues have been addressed. UI and HUD. UI and HUD elements are clear with updated overlays, animated pings, new minimap options, and smoother loadout and deploy navigation. Settings and controls have expanded with new options like VO volume sliders, sprint bob reduction, and camera roll toggle for accessibility, plus refinements across platforms. Audio has been cleaned up so pings are easier to hear, weapon and vehicle sound sharper, and missing delay effects won't get in the way of your awareness. Network. Netcode improvements reduce desync, making time to death feel fairer, and address cases of invisible damage. Thanks again for your trust, excitement, and feedback that helped us shape the Battlefield 6 experience. See you at launch. So these are going to be all of the changes, at least some of them that they're going to be teasing for the release of Battlefield 6. I'm actually really excited for this game. Let me know down in the comment section if you guys are as well. And obviously when the official patch notes drop, going over all of the changes that they made specifically for launch, that video will be on the channel as well. So if you guys are excited, feel free, drop a like on the vid, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications. Been your boy Ears, and I'm gonna catch you guys in the next Battlefield 6 video. Deuces.